Hello. I'm just admitting everybody into the room. You can turn your cameras on if you like. Can you hear me? Nobody is saying anything.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, that's good. I'm not talking into no man's land. And please turn on your cameras. It probably will take a while till everybody shows up. Can you try, please, to turn on your cameras? So I actually can see somebody. Thank you. Hi. That's lovely. It's just nice to see faces. What's your name?
Priscilla.
Priscilla. Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you too.
Mm. So, where is everybody? We have got a lot of people registered. Yay! Hello. Hi. If you want to talk, you have to unmute yourself. Whoever wants to say something. So it's 10 o'clock in the morning for you, yeah? Evening. What's the time?
Yeah.
Yes.
10 o'clock in the evening in Ghana.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello, it's 1 a.m. here in Saudi Arabia.
You are in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
1 a.m. I'm sorry you have to stay up so long.
I would try.
Well, we hope to make it interesting for you.
Yeah, because Sunday is a work day. It's not a weekend. The week starts on Sunday.
Yes, yes, I know. What work do you do?
I'm a teacher. I teach.
Hello. And what do you teach?
I'm a third grader teacher.
How did you end up in Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, my husband got an appointment here.
Okay.
So I had to come along.
Very hard.
Yeah. The weather?
Is that good?
Yeah, no. It's so hot, but that's if you are out. If you are outside, it's hot. But aside that, when you are inside or in any workplace or the malls or anything, it's cold.
Yes.
You know, the AC is always on.
Yes. Yes.
Temperature can be as high as 40 plus, 40 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
Very hot.
So I'm just letting everybody into the room. People coming bit by bit. It will probably take a few minutes. That's why I'm inviting you, you know, to say something. Talk to me. My name is Maltraut, by the way. And in Australia, it's morning. We are going into autumn. Oh, here's Becky. Becky is just joining. Hello, Becky. Do you all know each other, or you only know each other from WhatsApp group?
Actually, most of us have not met, really, but there's always hangouts in one city or the other, or country or the other. So people gather once in a while, you know, for physical training or for get together, you know. Actually, I would say 50% or 60 have not met each other except on online, really.
Yes, online teaching. I think COVID has been very good for online teaching.
Good.
Hi, Becky.
Hello.
Sitting there with a big hat.
Good evening, Ma.
So you are the one who has organized this group, yes?
Not really. I have quite a number of amazing ladies that are working closely with me.
Okay. Now, how is my quality of sound? Can you understand me well?
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Because first it was a webinar, but I didn't want to just, I wanted to see your face. I wanted to meet you. I wanted to see how when somebody asks a question, because it's very hard. There's 100+ people registered. And which is very humbling. And I just laugh, and there is Molola, how do you say that? And many names wrong, probably. And I just love to see that you guys were happy. It's great. I should be the head of the group.
Okay. Wow, that's lovely. Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Ooh. So, has anybody got a question?
I beg your pardon, you said what?
Has anybody got a question?
Okay.
A big question which can't wait. I'm still letting people people into the room as they ask to be let in.
Oh, okay.
And in the meantime, you know, I understand one is in Saudi Arabia. Where's the rest? Do you want to introduce yourselves maybe? Your name and where you are.
Oh.
Okay. Hello. I'm Jemima from Ghana.
Okay. Where's Yusuf?
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Yes.
Yeah. Adegoke of Atox House of Fashion from Nigeria, Ogun State.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Okay, and the lawyer from Nigeria.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello, my name is Grace, Creative Director of Greeting Fashion Hub from Nigeria too.
Nice to meet you, Grace.
Hello. My name is Uzoma, Creative Director of Yearly's Millinery. I'm also in Nigeria, Delta State to be precise.
Okay.
Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm SS Millinery from Ghana.
You're welcome.
Nice to meet
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Hi. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
My name is Rebecca Nels. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
My name is Rebecca Nelson. Becky Nellis Millinery from Ghana.
Some people's sound is not so good. You know what we'll do? You have a chat underneath. There's put in the chat where you are from. Just put down Ghana or Nigeria or wherever you are. Just put that in the chat function. Just type it in. That will make it much easier because I think some of you have not such good internet. And if that is too hard to understand you, then that's sad not to know where you go with your mouse underneath the into the chat function. Yes, some of you can do it. Chat and write in. I also, when you are on the telephone, you probably only can see 4 faces on the phone. Is that right? Yeah. Or the tablet, if you're on a you also can only see a few pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rebecca, great.
Yes.
Yusuf, some are putting it in. That's great. And Becky, you want to say something because you have raised your hand? No?
No, not really.
Okay.
I wanted to say something. I mistakenly pressed the
That's
hand
okay.
raise.
That's okay. There is another sign, reactions on the bottom. And if you click on that again, you can say raise hand or lower hand.
Okay.
Or by, I'm so sorry to pronounce your name not right. It's also raised the hand. And well,
everybody's raising their hands.
Yes, that's okay. We all raise our hands. Anyway, I think what we do, let's start talking a little bit till other people come. And I will tell you a little bit about me. Is this what would be good for you? What do you expect from this?
Anything inspirational, anything that you can inspire us with. It's a beautiful privilege to be with you. And we'll be looking forward to this day. We believe that we're going to learn a lot of things today from you. So,
okay, anything. Okay. I think I start with maybe telling you a little bit about me.
Okay.
Something you might not know. And what you maybe don't know about me is when I started Millinery, I fell into it. It was a calling. It was my calling. You know, I know many people of you are religious. I know you go to church. I am not religious in that way, but I believe in spirit. I don't need to go to church. I learned when I was 7 years old that there is something inside me I can trust to listen to. And if I listen to that, then I am on the right path. It doesn't matter what it is. If it says yes, or if it says no. And when it says no, I have to check if it is fear of me or if it's really danger that I must say no. That's different. And I learned that with 7 years, that is something. And that again helped me many times with big decisions in my life. And one of this was, you know what I would like to ask you? Mute your microphones if you don't speak. Just go to microphone and mute it. There's this little on the left, down at the menu, you will see microphone. And if you click on that, you can just mute it. Because you can move around and scratch around and it doesn't interfere. Only when you want to speak, then you put your microphone on. I think that would be helpful to everybody else, not to have the noises in the background. And so when I came to hat making, that was a calling, and I knew I had to do this. And my emphasis from the beginning and still to this day is that I want to learn techniques. Anything, any technique I can learn, I have learned and I keep learning. Because it is helping me with the design. The more skills I have, the more hats I can make. The more different hats I can make. The more I can make hats which are my hats, my design, my idea, and it comes out, it becomes something which hasn't been there before. It's like giving birth to a new child each time when I make a hat. That's how I've always made hats. And for that, it didn't matter how small the skill, I would learn it to add to it. Yusuf, can you turn your microphone off? Mute yourself.
Yeah, can I do that?
There is when you go with your mouse or finger underneath into your menu, or maybe I can do it. I muted you. All good. You can do it. I have power. All good. So okay. Yeah. Okay. Where am I gone? Can you see me? Yes. Okay. So, and what I did in the beginning when I started the first 4 years of my training in London with Rose Corey was very much, I didn't care what does it look like. I tried to make a nice hat, which suited me. But I worked a lot with recycled materials. I had no money, and I had to. Let me see, there's somebody not muted. I used to go to hand shops and I would buy hats, which were, and I would make them, take them apart, wash them, and then make hats from that. Because I had little material, that meant that I could only make specific hats, because if I wanted to make a big hat but I only had a little bit of fabric, I had to make a small hat, and I had to learn a new technique. So that's a lot. Menage or Menage, is the right name? Could you please mute yourself? It's very distracting, the noise in the background. Please. I, for some reason, can't mute you. That would be great, because there's a lot of noise going on. And so I learned so many techniques because of that. I learned joining felts, and I learned Can you hear that noise, guys?
Miss Raina, can you mute it from your side there? Can you do that?
I'm trying.
Mamaga. The name is Mamaga.
Yeah.
Mama and Ellen Ejiro, can you please, Ellen Ejiro, can you please mute, please? There's so much interference. Mamaga. Yeah.
For some reason, I can mute everybody, but not Managa, which is very strange. Anyway, we shall persevere. That is.
Stop snoring.
Oh, can't Stop Chinese. And there's many. strange that I can't mute. I've managed to run. Mute, come, Mark. Let's mute it. No, it's a bit quieter. Okay. So, and then because of that, I ended up having lots of skills. So the skills I was learning was darning and joining, and it was about it was blocking, and it was fabric hats, and it was gluing, and it was structures underneath because I had to make extensions. So lots of those skills came out. So my number one advice is always to people: learn skills, regardless if you like the hat or not. Don't necessarily just make a hat. Learn a skill. You know, there might be a technique which shows you nothing but wire technique. For example, when you look at something like this, and you learn how to make working with wire, so you can learn how to make wire frames. And when you know how to do the technique of a wire frame, how to join wire and how to hide the wire, then you can make anything out of wire, because then your imagination will start making the shapes, because you don't have to make exactly what is being taught on the screen. So if I teach you exactly how to make this hat, this is not important. I need to teach you how to do the technique. It's like, you know, don't give me a fish. Teach me how to fish. And I find this very, very important, that from there, then you will be able to feed yourself. And and when you do that, then you can cover these frames with anything. You can make big hats, you can make small hats, you can make tiaras. This is covered with a net, which is from oranges, you know, or apples. You can cover it with silk and with fabric. And that you make a different kind of hat. And you can see how that would be, if it's covered, a beautiful shape. And wire can be very inexpensive, and you can add to that. So that would be a skill of working with wire. Another one, for example, the chin-chin techniques. Now, to show you how to make this hat is not important. What is important is to show you how to handle the material, how to cut it, how to work it, how to shape it. Then you can make any hats, because you're also learning what you can't do. And when you sort of start doing things like that, you can create the material the way you want, because you learned the skill. And you can also block the material. This is chin-chin. I'm sure you guys recognize that. But also you, in many places, probably will be limited with materials. I can imagine that you have a hard time finding, you have to probably import everything. Can you see me? Just put the finger up if you can. Yes? because I have disappeared from my screen.
Can't see you.
You can?
No.
You can't. That's very strange. Something just happened.
I can't see you.
Well, this is very strange. I have just all of a sudden.
It's back on.
Okay.
You're back on.
One camera is somehow has a problem. Okay. All right, I'm going to talk to that camera over here because the other one has somehow something has happened. So this is the most important thing for the techniques. And when you have techniques and you keep adding to this, I wonder, can somebody tell me, how do you find your materials? Is there a supplier in Africa or several where you can get ginseng, silk abaca, Paris cloth, cinnamon, straw, felt probably you don't need, I don't know. But do you have a supplier, and what is the main materials you use?
In Nigeria, we have suppliers. Lots of women out there who sell materials. We have them in Nigeria. And I also think we have in Ghana, we have in Cameroon. So, but mainly in Nigeria, we have lots of to sell. And the major materials, cinnamon, paper mats, crinoline, several millinery materials. We have them here in Nigeria. Yeah.
So you can get anything. Becky?
Yeah, are you hearing me?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay, you can hear me. I said, yeah, in Nigeria, we have lots of them.
Okay.
Lots of suppliers here in Nigeria. They sell materials, yes.
Okay, so that's no problem. Yeah. That's great. So because, for example, this one here, do you guys work with leather?
Yeah.
You do as well, and felt?
Yes.
Okay. So this
felt is not readily available.
Okay. And you probably don't need it, it's too hot. This was a hat I have made many years ago in London, and I think this hat must be 30 years old, and it has taught me such important techniques at the time that about a spatry, because underneath here is a spatry, and then this is felt, and how to join the letters together. So that was something which was also a skill, because I had nothing. That little felt hat I found in the op shop made just the crown, and then I had leather bits and pieces, and because I didn't have much, I learned how to join the letters and how to put it on a spatry. And I'm sure you all know a spatry. This is that material inside of here, which is now not manufactured anymore, but as a paper spatry it is. And I love this material. This lets you have so many hats. Then other techniques, everybody know it's important to know how to block and use hat blocks, and it's also important how to make hats from nothing, just with your hands and with an iron and with water, and how to shape that, because we don't all need a lot of every single hat block. We don't need every tool without having to make hats. We can do a lot with very little, and I think people, and that's also something you might not know about me. I come from Austria, from a very small country community. I grew up with parents who we probably could consider peasants, or very they were very uneducated, and we didn't have much money. And the land where we built our house on, we as a family had to work off by helping the big farmer in the area, picking apples and potatoes and fruit and that kind of thing. And we came home from school, and there would be a note on the table, and we would have to go to a particular field and help work, because for every crate of apples we all picked, we would get a that would pay off eventually over many years our land. And that, because we didn't have anything, that also helped me in my life to become very resourceful. And I had to think of ideas, and it was exciting to think of ideas. I wanted to play the guitar, but there was no money for a guitar or for lessons. So I got a piece of wood, and I put nails in it with elastic bands across, and then I had a guitar, and with a broken bicycle pump, I made a violin, and I pretended, and I learned how to make things. So this is, I feel I'm always going, what can I make with this? If I only have this, surely I can find something and make something out of that. So that's the first question always. I don't say, oh, you have to have this and this and this and this. So my workshops, when I teach, I always teach techniques. I always show people how to make something like this. You know, I might say, make something like this, but the fact that it's something like this is, there's so many skills in this, then when you start, your hat will never look like this, because I'm not teaching you how to do it exactly. And I often see on Facebook, people get all upset about, he copied me, she copied me, that's a copy, and that's a copy. And I think that happens because people are being taught skills. If I am a teacher and I am teaching you how to make this hat, exactly, then what can you do? You have to copy this, because this is what I'm teaching you to do. And then I have taught another person the same thing. I've taught one in Africa to teach this. I have taught one in Austria to teach this, and I have taught one in Ireland. You know, 3 different countries. And then when they all make it in their country, then they get all upset, because they say the countries copy each other. But really, I've only given them one fish. I didn't show them how to fish, if you understand what I mean. So that's why the technique is important. And when you learn this, how to handle it, because I don't give you measurements. I don't tell you, you have to do 20 centimeters, 50 centimeters, and then when I'm teaching my free form hat, for example, again, I am not going to give you measurements. You have to think about why it works and what it is, what makes that work. And how can I then from this make a hat? And from how do I put it together? And how can I think about this hat and this technique without doing the same hat which looks like everybody else's? So that is my way of working, and everybody works different. And I have found that is true to myself. I'm doing something which is going to help and help to grow, rather than you have to come back again for the next hat. With this technique, I want you, if I teach you this, you should be able to make many, many, many different hats. When I teach you working with ginseng, you're supposed to be able to do many different than this, because I teach you in that way and I shape it in that way and I show you how to handle it, that you can step outside your box and do what is in you, how you want to do it. And then the other thing I really like is I like textures. So when you, for example, look at this one here, this is many, many textures. There is silk abaca, there is tinalak, and there is foss shape. So the foss shape being the material, the structure I put it on. And it has skills like, first you make the structure, then how the principles of making fabric covered hats, what does that mean? And then they are all principles. For example, when I would teach you the free shaping with cinnamate, the hat I just showed you before, all of this is techniques also from that. This technique, the weaving, kind of belongs to the ginseng idea. So you are starting to think about, let's see if I can do it. Maybe that's gone. Yes. No, it's somebody else. I'm trying to find the people who are not muted. Okay, good. So of this, see, would be like that. That doesn't mean you have to wear the hat like that, because maybe the person who is going to wear it can wear it this way better, or maybe it looks better this way, or maybe it looks better this way, and the eye goes away. So if again, it's always a hat the way I think the hat should be, does not mean it works for you the way the hat should be. I feel it in my gut when I take a material and I look around and I kind of, well, maybe not with this one. Let me see this one here. Okay, that's another one in the same lesson that's ginseng hat. And when it's finished, I kind of might not know how it goes. And then I start turning it around and I look and I turn it upside down and I see, does that work? And I look around. And as I turn it around and I play with my hair and see if I can integrate that, then I have this feeling in my stomach and it goes, ah. And that is when I react to it. And if it keeps going, then it's not right. It is the same what I was saying before, the spirit I feel within myself, that I know when it's right and when it's wrong. And when the body says, yes, love that, and then the head says, no, that's not fashionable, it needs to be this way, that way, then the brain and the ego starts coming in and tells me to do things which my body and soul knew not to do. And this is when hats become uncomfortable, when situations become a problem. And I feel then that is going against what's right for me. it's what's right for you. Everyone has a different way of wanting to wear hats, make hats, and it's a play between your hands, your heart, and the material. It's not about the material. It's not just about not making that hat. There's more connected for me. This is how I make hats, and then I'm often, I never then can be called I'm copying, because it comes outside from the inside, and I have no control. I have control over that. I can say yes or no, but it's sort of like it's a new thing. And then, you know, like this one here, which can be a trimming for a hat. It could be added somewhere. It could be a hat in its own right. And I would be doing the same thing and walking around seeing how would that fit. And that's not the lesson that you have to do this in order to finish this hat. This is the lesson of how does this technique work. So I have this technique, I have this technique, I have the blocking technique, and then all of a sudden there's probably 10 hats I can make because there were techniques. So that is big number one for me. How are we going so far? Have you got any questions? I carry on? Okay, I take that as a yes. Just maybe put
Yes, you can carry on.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Because I don't want to bore you. So this hat over here I was showing you, this is a new material. I mean, it's not new. It's been around for many years now, but the millinery industry doesn't use it a great deal other than for foundation. It's Phosphape. And you can also use Phosphape, obviously, for making texture and making hats, and they always turn out differently because you never quite know how it shrinks. So that itself is very exciting, how to make hats. And I teach a lot. I teach in, I have actually, what I might do, let me show you, let me share my screen. And let me, this is not so interesting for you, but anyway, can you all see the picture? Yes. This is a traditional hat where I come from. This is what I have grown up with. You have your wraps, you know, your traditional headwear would be fabric and wraps and the turbans. And that is one of the traditional hats which is in my psyche, like I have grown up with. But I wanted to show you. Yes, hello. Yes, I know, I understand totally. Yes, I love babies. Okay, beautiful. So this one here is, I have got a few photographs from material. That's the plastic fantastic, you know, the warbler. It's a material which is brown, and you can make shapes from it. And when you make it hot, it sticks together. So this is made from warbler. It's a hat I made for an exhibition. This one here is a wire frame underneath, the wire tiara, and it has the material, which is a mulberry bark. It's sort of like, I don't know, in Africa, you might also have trees where the bark is sort of like paper, and that's from that. And this one here is fabric. So that would be the skill of how to make foundations. And this foundation here is false shape. And then how to cover it with material. Oops. Come on. There we go. So the tip, the side band, and the brim. And this material around to finish the edges really nicely is hemp braid. It's not very expensive, makes very beautiful edges. And then this one here is, this is a technique. When I did my master's in psychotherapy, I'm used 62 pictures because I'm 62 years old. They are all photographs from my past. I printed onto the fabric. And then I wanted the colors. This is the colors, the national colors of Austria and Australia. I mixed them together because Australia is my new country since 35 years. I have made a life here, but my beginning, my roots, my ground was Austria. This is where the little tree has been planted. So I wanted to make my own mortar for the celebration in order to think about and reflect on that. So I printed photographs onto the fabric, onto silk, yellow silk, because yellow to me is life, and it is it's growth, and it is happiness, and it is sunrise and sunset. It will rise hopefully long after I'm gone, and it has risen before I arrived. So I use it in this way. And the underbit is felt, and the foundation was false shape. But if I don't have false shape for this job, I could use a very, very thick cardboard or something else which is stiff. I don't have to. This one here is again, this is Wonderflex. The material, it's white, it's like warbler, a little bit different, but you can buy it in the States, and you can iron fabrics onto it. This is Cinnamay, which I have printed in with the First Nation people here in Australia. And then I can shape that into a hat. This one is also First Nation print, but Cinnamay, and I put it on top of Wonderflex, which lets me shape those leaves. So that would be now, I would not run a workshop and say, we are making this hat. I'm showing you how to do this hat with these leaves. I would teach you how to do the techniques to get those leaves, and how the techniques to get a cap like this in many different ways. And then when you make it, it will look totally different. This here is Plastic Fantastic. It's a material, a mesh you can pull out and shrink back if you want to. And that gives very, very interesting shapes as you go. And this is another Plastic Fantastic. I have also used it for veilings or making crowns. And the color you change by spraying it. This is also Plastic Fantastic on a wire headband. So the headband completely disappears. And that is also Plastic Fantastic with a gold tube, which has wire inside. And so the technique is, how do I work with Plastic Fantastic? Once you know how to work with Plastic Fantastic, you can becoming creative. So that's that one. And then I also want to show you, bear with me. Where is it? Oh no, this is Linda is making me a necklace. Do you all know that? I'm excited I have commissioned a necklace from Linda, and I wouldn't be talking to you if it wasn't for Linda, which I'm very excited about. I can't, where are those pictures? Ah, here we go, maybe here. Yeah. Sort of like when you look at little pictures like that, the tiaras, which are so fashionable all over the world, they are wire constructions. You can use them very easily by doing your own wire thing, and again, wire construction underneath, and you can put little flowers around it, which makes it very easy. Now, those kind of tiaras, you can actually learn how to do from the internet, like from YouTube, because some people have specialized on making crowns for all sorts of other reasons, like for cosplay, and also they really want to replicate exactly the crown jewels of a person. And then have I got, yes, here they are. Now, this one here would be a wireframe, and you can make them so super large, you can wrap them individually, or you can cover them later if you wanted to. This is also a wireframe. Which can be worn upside down. This one here, also working with wire, but being much more modern about it. Then so this would be wire, the same, which was before worn upside down, and it's meant to be a lily. I made this back here that fits the hair inside. It's like a snoot. That's the technical name for it. And if you wanted to, you could just make this frame and cover it with silk, for example. So that would be a way to do it. Another wireframe I show you, which is very modern, is, it's very, it's very modern, is this one here. So you can see that is very, has got lots of plastic cut to size. It's all on wire and with beads underneath. So when it comes to making hats, the world is your oyster, and the learning must never, ever, ever stop. It doesn't stop for me. Once I say, "Oh, I know it all," then it's over. It always has to sort of move to something else. You know, I'm doing the different lessons. Another little I have thought about to show you just before was and okay, here we go. Where it starts off with when it speaks to the techniques, to first know techniques and to understand where the material comes from and how the material is made. All those kind of things I learned because I had an interest in that. Machines like that, you know, for the felt, when the felt gets created and what goes into that, and that there is people, you know, it starts with the sheep or the rabbits and how it gets comes down the line and how many people are involved in the product, what I then can use. I have more respect for that then, and that it's not just me, the person making the hat is the hero. Without those other people, I wouldn't exist. You know, I stand on the shoulders of other people. I stand on the shoulders of those people who make the felt for me. I'm stand on the shoulder of the animals who have died for me, that I can make this felt. And when cinema, you know, people in the Philippines who weave this material, they get so little money because when you can buy a meter of cinema in Australia for 15 Australian dollars, that's 10 American dollars. We can imagine how little the person gets in the Philippines. So I always think about that without them, I wouldn't be able to make. This is a technique of joining felt. It's invisible joining. It's like darning, and it's a very useful skill when you make felt hats. Then there is so many different straw techniques and straw names, and not every straw is good for every type of hat. So what are the names of all those straws? It would be a good idea to start understanding and be clear that a peribundle, a linen weave, a raffia, a perisisal, what the different straws are. You empower yourself by having that skill, because then you know what you are buying. Also good idea, of course, to learn how to make patterns, because when you know how to make patterns, you can make blocks, because from a pattern like this, if I make this in cardboard and then use lots of paper tape and glue and stiffen it and put wire on, I have a hat block. I can make hat blocks. So it's not just a fabric hat. Hat blocks you can also make from, if you wanted to, from old, like a wok. If you need a Dior hat, you can make it from a wok or old pots, and you cover the pots with fabric, and then you have got something to put the pins in for blocking. And there's some wire techniques. Again, you can find wire techniques around, or you can do classes on wire techniques. And once you know how to do the joints and how to make the structure, you make many different hats. Petershams. Some people call Petershams. Some call them grow grain. And there's a big difference between countries. some countries call grosgrain is a band which you put only on men, on hats for men or inside clothes. And Petersham is the one which is the one for women's hats. And I show you the difference. I should have prepared that earlier, but I haven't. I apologize. There you go. Okay. So when you look at this one here, you can see it is dead straight, the edge. This is a man which we would refer to as grosgrain, where this one here has got tiny, I'm going to focus in more. There you go. Now you can see it. See how this has sort of, this has got little zigzags, where this one has a straight woven edge. So that would be the grosgrain for men, and the Petershams, which have got tiny little loops. And the new ones, you can see it even better. This one here, see those loops. This is a Petersham, and the others are grosgrains. But some millinery suppliers sell it as grosgrain to Petersham. So that's fine. I'm not saying the name is wrong. I'm saying you want to be, if you order from London often or from England, they call grosgrain straight weave, and the Petersham has got the little ziggy-zaggies. So you just have to know where you're buying from to ask for the right thing. That's the main thing. With sort of 9:10, and I'm wondering if so far any questions. Who would like to ask me a question? No questions? Okay. I wonder, I have a question, where all the people have gone who have registered. I wonder if they're probably waiting for the video that I sent them, the recording out, that not everybody showed up, but that's okay. So what else can I tell you? I can tell you that that I am amazed how many people in Africa make hats. When I had this talk with Linda, it was so enjoyable, and it was so lovely to actually hear that, and also that Becky has organized this group, and that you all seem to somehow help each other. And I'm sure that sometimes is difficult as well, I can imagine. But you seem to have a market which is for church hats, and we in Australia have the market for hat making in the horse industry, horse races. If we wouldn't have horse races, we would not have a millinery industry the way we do. It's we have horse races all around the country, and especially at Melbourne Cup here in Melbourne, where I live. It's a big, big event, which was very difficult at COVID, with COVID now, because it got cancelled, of course, and it most likely will go ahead this year in November when immunizations are gonna working, which we don't know. And I know for you guys, it has also been harder because church services were cancelled, I can imagine, for you, and that lots of it has gone online, and that everybody was affected in the business. So I want to acknowledge that this is, again, it's all of us. It's all of us around the world, where many are affected, and many people have made a lot of money because of COVID as well. And many lost a lot and lost their livelihood. Many businesses closed here in Australia. And to stay in business with hat making is hard, best of times. So it makes it difficult. But for me, I use hat making as healing also. Hat making and textiles have always been a healing element. When I travel in the hatmobile around the country, which is many hundreds of kilometers, like I would go 3,000 kilometers would be a trip when I do a trip of teaching. Is very much important to connect, because it is sitting in a room with a group of people, men or women, and children. It allows for space to listen, to talk, and to feel. Because when we are quiet and we are connected to the hat, that's what happens for me, then I'm connecting with myself and with the hat and the material, and then feelings and thoughts can come through me, and I can come to a different understanding about my life and how I am. That has been intuitively always the case for me from little on, but I didn't understand it. I do understand it now, how important it is to do things, to be active with our hands, and to give life with our hands to something else. And it could be through beading, it could be through weaving, it could be through, for me, it's weaving, hat making, felting, and my garden. I am always creating in my garden. I'm always making rooms and replanting and watching what works and what doesn't work, and it fills me with joy. So it's the connection with something. It's the connection with the nature, the connection with material, and the connection with people, because I think that's what makes us tick. And as long as I keep focus on that, then I'm not worried and afraid that somebody copies me or takes something away from me, or that somebody does better, because social media is just a big lie. You know, the social media I think most of the time is what makes people feel bad, because we're always looking and saying, this life over there looks so good. What about my life? And the reality is, I think, that no one's life is perfect. No one's life is an Instagram life with beautiful photographs and happy ever after. That we all struggle with things. I struggle with things and have struggled with things. And when I do now struggle with things, I know what I need to do is to connect back to myself, to connect back, to take a canvas, to start making a hat, and feel inwards and let it come out from there. And then I am back with myself. And once I'm back with myself, I can be back with others. Yeah, I sort of think I should leave it there. I don't really know much more I can do or say to you, but I would like to say thank you that you actually asked me to do this. I know I offered, but it's that you took it up, and I would be very happy if you send me email. You can send me an email, thehatmobile.com.au. I put it in the chat for everybody, so you can have this website. You can just copy that, hatmobile.com.au. You can send me an email through that. And if you have questions, if you want to say something, I will answer them. You can explore around and have a look. There's lots of very inexpensive workshops on my website, but I keep making more tutorials as I go on. And maybe as we sort of know now what the forum could do, maybe we can do another one, but for a better time, because it sounds like 10 o'clock for you is really late. So we would have to make it, I would have to get up earlier. Like if I would get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, then that would be 8 o'clock in Ghana. And in Saudi Arabia, it would be 10 o'clock at night, something like that. I mean, that's a possibility. And then you could come with questions and we could do it maybe in that way. How does that sound?
That's great.
Yeah?
Yes, that's great.
Okay.
You can reschedule the time for on another day. I think that'll be very good.
Yeah. Well, did you get something out of it? I'm just looking at the comments here. If there's any questions here, there's a lot of appreciation, and I thank you for that. It touches me. And
actually, so much. Thank you so much. Actually, the time is not convenient for us at all.
Really?
Because right now, this is after 12. Yeah, this is after 12. We started 11 p.m. Because we actually thought it was 10. We tried to log in around 10 p.m. We couldn't until 11. So, because I remember you told me 10 p.m. I actually told them 10 p.m. So we all waited till 11. And now it's after 12. As I'm talking to you, I've been pinching myself. My eyes is full. I've been dozing. And I really love this meeting. And now I have an idea of what the meeting should look like, because it ought to be a kind of interacting meeting. You are talking, we are talking, we're asking questions, you know. But right now, everybody's like, our body is, you know, we're not really, personally, I'm not really catching up because I'm feeling sleepy badly because I had a very tedious day. I did a lot of job today. So now it's telling on me. So I think definitely we're going to reschedule this meeting for another day, and we all will prepare our questions to ask. But so far, so good. I've learned so many things. I've learned about some materials which I've written down, and I will ask you about them later, because there are still some materials we don't really have. I've not seen here in Nigeria. Like the ginseng, I've not seen it. I've heard about it. It's a millinery material, but I've not seen it. And I think about other two materials you made mention of. So I think in our next meeting, we'll be well prepared.
Okay, see with the Chinsin, you only need, for example, if you have 1 meter of Chinsin, you can do a lot of things with 1 meter of Chinsin.
Beautiful.
You know, if you only have 30 centimeters of Chinsin, you could do a lot of things. I think this one here is about 30 centimeters of Chinsin.
Wow.
So there is a lot you can do with it. Or if you only can, you know, 1/2 meter of Chinsin is a good one, to 1/2 meter or a meter, but you can do a lot with that. Yes, I was going to make it, I had it first as a webinar where only I talk, but I wanted to see your faces. I didn't want to speak to this empty wall. I wanted to see and get a feeling of who you are, because as I said, it is about the connection to people. I also need the connection, and because otherwise I'm just standing and preaching, and it's a coming together of people. It's not just me. It's not like this, you know, I am the expert and you are the students. We are students together all the time, because I learn from every question, which makes me think and makes me come up with an answer. That means you are the teacher and I become the student. So it's always like this. And that's why I thought it would be nicer. If I do my webinars, which are watching only, and they are very inexpensive, they are like $45 together with Denise in America. And I've got another one coming up with a girl from New Zealand. We're teaching how to make bows, lots of bows. Any idea you can have how to approach a bow. This is where you can't talk, but you can write questions live. And if you can't come live, then it will be recorded, and if you register for the class, then you will get the recording sent afterwards. And then it's in that way you're there live and asking questions, but at the same time I can't see you. So that's very much, you know, teaching a lesson. So that's how I run my online classes, because I find when we are in a group, often that is too hard. We learn too little. I can teach much more in a webinar where I can just show you techniques, then showing you one thing, because many people keep asking questions and then the time is over and you only have learned one thing. If I tell you I'm going to teach you, I don't know, anything, and that one thing just takes too much time up. But if I can show you this, you can sit there with a pen, you take notes, you can take photographs, and then afterwards you get a recording. For 3 days, you have access to the recording afterwards, and then you can work in your own time to that, stop, start, stop, start. So that's how I do that.
Okay.
Well, I will send out this recording anyway to everybody who had signed up, because obviously, but what I don't understand, you should have gotten emails. Yesterday, you would have gotten an email telling you the webinar is 1 day away. Everybody got that. And then an hour and 1 hour ago, before the start, you got an email saying the webinar is starting in 1 hour.
Yeah.
Yes, you got that.
Yes, I got that too.
We did.
Good, because that would then have told you exactly what time it was.
it was around 10 p.m. that we logged in and we saw that the time is, the meeting is starting by 11 p.m. Then I went back to my email and I checked and I saw it's going to be starting in an hour time, which is actually the 11 p.m. But as at 2 weeks ago, when this meeting was scheduled, I told everybody it's going to be 10 p.m. So we're all preparing 10 p.m. Yeah.
Okay. So that's where it went a bit wrong.
Yeah.
Never mind. I will send this out so nobody misses out, and that they got at least that, and they can fast forward to what they don't want. And I think what also happened was summertime, the clock change. We changed.
Yeah, it did. Because actually, when you schedule this meeting, I checked Google, and it told me 10 p.m.
Yeah.
8 a.m. Because I think there's a change in the clock. Yes. It happened 1 hour difference.
But it's good that we have a recording so nobody missed out. But I missed out on all the wonderful faces.
Yeah. I think a lot couldn't meet up.
Yeah. Well,
when they came at 10 p.m., they had to, maybe some of them dozed off. Because some persons I saw 10 p.m., I didn't see them in the meeting. Probably they dozed off.
Yeah. That's okay. As long one person turns up, there's one person to connect with. Yeah. I would, so I'll set, I do another time, and I communicate with you, Becky, and yeah, and I thank you for having me. And next time, come with questions, and maybe everyone with a hat to show me or something, and then, or a problem. You know, you might have a problem.
What's that?
You might have a problem with how to finish something or how to make a hat, and can discuss that. Or something went wrong and you don't understand why it went wrong. We could look at that.
Okay. That would be great.
What's that?
I said that would be great.
Okay. And I wish I had a tutor who helps me pronounce all those amazing names you all have. Them on the screen and how to pronounce them properly. And I adore your turbans, I can only say. You know, the different turbans people wear. I just love it. I was in Africa, East Africa, in '86 for 3 months. And and I still have material. And I met a friend who had these beautiful fabrics wrapped around like sarong. And I fell in love with that, much more than the fabrics I could buy in Ghana and in Kenya. And I was saying, where's this fabric from? You know, and she said from Ghana. And the prints in Ghana, they are just so different to the print I could get in Kenya. And I had a real love for those fabrics and textiles you have got. And now I'm speaking to so many of you, which, you know, it's amazing. And that headwear, it's just, and what you can do with these beautiful stiff fabrics. That's it. You see, that is what I spoke to before, that it's like, what is you, and it comes from inside out, and that has been with you from the mother milk. You know about fabric, you know about the feeling of it, and you know what it does and can do and can't do, and how can one take that material and make that also something else not just tradition, if you know what I mean. You know, the hat I showed you before from my First Nation people here in Australia, where the print is First Nation people. It's the print is First Nation, but the hat is a bota. It's fashion. It's modern. And how can I put the two things together? It's like, how can my identity and the skill, and how can I make it something else? And it might only be on the underside of a brim, or it could be the lining, you know, it could be something which is always me. You can't cut out of me. This is who I am. This is my roots. But what else can those roots become? I always say I see myself like a tree, a little tree. It was planted in Austria, and it was nurtured and fertilized and given water, and I had no control over that. Somebody planted me, mother gave birth to me, and then the influence of mother, grandparents, neighbors, society started fertilizing this tree, and the tree grew, and then the roots grew, and the canopy grew, and those roots were going beyond Austria to Germany, Europe, England, Australia. And a big root system needs a big canopy, because otherwise the big canopy cannot be supported if you don't have a big root system. And from there, you integrate and use what has right at the beginning was there. I don't want to lose that, because I wouldn't exist with the right at the beginning. So I have to embrace that and keep that close. But it doesn't mean I have to be that. I don't have to say I'm nothing else but Austrian. I'm Austrian born. I'm more than that. I'm Austrian born. I'm a mother. I'm a lover. I'm a friend. I'm a teacher. I am a bit mad. I'm a gardener. You know, I'm a psychotherapist. There's many, many, many aspects to all of us. We are not just the hat we wear. You know, we can change hats. We wear different hats, and that's a choice, if we think about it. But the main thing is, the core is we are an individual. There's nobody out there than me, and there's nobody out there than you. Doesn't matter what they do or don't do. It's just one of us. And we are very one and perfectly ordinary in a sea of many. So I think I leave it here and say goodbye.
Goodbye. Oh. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.